Okay, let's get started. Okay, welcome to Driving Dads, episode 9, 10? 9. Okay, it's a lovely Thursday here. Couple of interesting things happening here and there and everywhere in the world. So we've got a bunch of new car launches, a couple of concept cars. There's Tokyo Motor Show. Tokyo Mobility Show, as it is.
Mobility, is it? But it's okay, so everything.
So a bunch of interesting concepts there, which I want to talk about. Some really nice ones. Looking forward to. Okay. And then Donovan's got a couple of things.
Yeah, it's a couple of small things. Some history with Ford. So obviously they're celebrating 100 years in South Africa. And I mean, we've spoken about that a little bit before. Just one or two other things. I do want us to start with that Ferrari we spoke about.
Yes.
So after we spoke, and I mean, I didn't think about looking into the registry and things like that. So it was quite confusing. So I phoned my mate who passed me the details. And I said, what gives? Yeah. And so he dug a little bit, and what it turns out, the guy who built it in South Africa, so it was built in South Africa.
Yeah.
Apparently, so now everything here is just hearsay. This is what I've been told. Okay. He was mates with Enzo Ferrari back in the 50s. And he said, please let me build one. And Enzo said, no. And he begged and begged and begged. And eventually Enzo apparently gave in and sent him the plans. So he built this locally built. And apparently it's been built with the blessing of Enzo. Now, it's rumored that there are letters backwards and forwards between this guy and Enzo.
Yeah.
The fact that they haven't resurfaced already tells me it's probably not true.
Yeah.
So it was a nice idea, but it doesn't seem like it's...
Yeah. And like I said, some of the things that I picture looking at the pictures, things like the Pininfarina logo on the inside of the car, the dials. I mean, if they had the plans, okay, I mean, some of those things don't make sense if they had the plans. I mean, especially things like the dash. Look, I mean, if it's a replica, it's on the exterior, it's a beautiful replica. It looks really good. I mean, but a closer look, I'd like to track down the source of the engine, though. That might be an interesting story where they got that engine from.
So it's not to take away from the car. I mean, there must be a story behind it. Someone's gone and built it and made it.
I'd love to track down the story.
And it looks apart. I mean, it really looks good. Yeah. So look, Zaka, I think I don't hate tribute cars.
No,
I mean, how many Shelby Cobras are there? Plenty, and they look amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's local guys who do build a Cobra replica here.
Was there? Yes, I saw their name. Yes, they actually popped up.
Yes, I saw one of them at the shopping centre the other day.
I'm going to open the website quick because I saw it, and they were. I think it came out. There was a press release.
Yeah.
So.
I saw one and it looked so good. Blue, metallic blue. It was a beautiful replica. Yeah, so look, there's nothing wrong with tribute cars. I mean, replicas and so on. I mean, but I mean, I think you got to be very honest about it. I mean, But that's interesting. Okay, so we talk about how much the Ferraris are worth and so on. Okay, so there is a 250 GTO that is now for sale. Okay, so coming up for auction. Yeah. Okay, now this is a very interesting 250 GTO.
That's pretty.
Okay, this particular model, was built in 1962. Okay. Now, typically all the 250 GTOs were sold to privateers to race. This is the only 250 GTO that was run by Ferrari as a race car. Okay. At race in the Nürburgring 1,000 miles and came first in its class. It raced in Le Mans. Unfortunately, it had issues. Now, a couple other interesting things about this. Okay. It started off with a 3-liter V12 from the standard 250.
Yeah.
But in 1962, the spec changed. They put in a 4-liter for racing. Okay. Then went racing. Okay. Then afterwards, it was converted back to the 3-liter. Okay. So, this car was owned by Ferrari, and then sold on a couple while back. And this is the first time it's come up for sale in 38 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Now, the last 250 to be sold.
Yeah.
Okay, with this sort of provenance and everything, went for just over $48 million. Dollars. So we're looking. They say for this particular model, they're probably going to be expecting 50 plus.
Yeah, that is a beautiful photo of a beautiful car. That's like a poster that already.
Yeah, I mean, the 250 GTO. I think there are so many slight variations across them.
Yeah.
But as a whole, they are just a beautiful cars. I mean, there's a reason why it's been nominated for most beautiful car ever built again and again and again. Yeah. I mean, okay. So go up for sale, 50 mil plus.
So over $50 million.
Yeah, it's insane. One thing I do want to talk about at some point is a couple of car collections. Oh, bugger! I forgot.
We have photos of the now.
No. We'll pick it up another point. Okay. Yeah. But okay. So
that's incredible. Would you ever? Okay. Hypothetical question: if you ever had the money, would you be buying cars like that from your collection?
Oh, that's a very. I don't know. I mean, I love cars, and if money no object, yes.
Really, I don't think I would. Hey, I don't know. I don't know if I want the pressure of owning this.
Okay, well, Ralph Lauren has an amazing car collection, and I think we should discuss it at some point.
Yeah,
because he has an astonishing collection, worth over $350 million.
Sure.
That's so incredible. I think that's something we can pick up in another podcast.
Yeah, it's fascinating because I don't know if I would. I mean, I'd love to collect cars, and then I watch YouTubers, and of the YouTubers who I think have one of the best collections is called Legit Street Cars. He loves old GM products. He loves Mercedes products.
Yeah.
But he's got a McLaren.
Yeah.
620, something like that. Yeah. He's got a van. He bought this like 15-seater construction van. Literally, the paint is peeling off. It was used in construction. And he's like, oh, well, because it had the 5-liter V8 from GM in it. And he's like, okay, hundreds, I'm going to supercharge this freaking thing. And he did. So he puts this massive supercharger, upgrades the suspension. It still looks like a bloody construction van.
Yeah.
But he takes it out to the other guys and he does burnouts. And it's just this mad. Like even people drive it and like, oh, this thing's crazy.
I mean,
but I love that kind of a kid.
Yes.
So he's got some great cars. You know, he's got an old Chev police car and just amazing stuff.
I think there's two very different sides of the coin here. You got those guys who love the cars, who modify them and drive them and so on. But then you got the let's say called the rarefied exotics. Okay, things like the 250 GTO. Look, I mean, there are works of art, and this is the thing. I mean, people collect them, and I can understand it because look, it is an investment for a lot of people. But there are guys who collect them because they are car nuts. I mean, look at like Jay Leno.
Yeah.
He's got an amazing garage. Okay, but he's a car nut, and he drives his cars.
Yeah.
So there's pros and cons, and it's an interesting discussion. I mean,
but it's funny. And then you look at like they have the Peterson Automotive Museum in the States. See, we don't have anything like that. So I mean, the most we have is in Joburg. They've got it's called the James Hall Transport Museum.
There's one down in Cape Town as well.
Yes. What's it called now? I'll follow them on Instagram.
It's what are the rich families?
But it's something motor museum.
Yeah, down in Franschhoek.
It's the Franschhoek Motor Museum.
Yeah. There we are. But it was founded by.
But they have some great stuff. But that little James Hall Transport Museum, it's dingy, but you walk through and they kind of have the displays. And very nice, iconic cars for South Africa. It's a real trip down memory lane. But then you walk through the one section on the side door and they've got like a storage yard. And you can walk among some of the stuff they've been just donated and things. Yeah. And there they've got the real gems. But they haven't been cleaned. They're still in the work of progress. Lots of lacquer buses, trucks, all sorts of weird things. There's like an old... like an educational bus thing parked there. There's a Christmas bus. It's a bit wacky. Yeah. But also like so cool. You know, just as old. You just look at them. Those massive. There's a Valiant there. I remember looking. You look at the Valiant, and it's as wide as normal cars are now long. You know. It's just, and that bench seat, you could fit like 5 people on the front seats, and it's just. I love seeing that. So,
look, I mean, it's a fascinating thing. I mean. Money in an object, maybe. Yeah, I mean, obviously we discussed the cars with. I discussed the cars I'd love to have. I mean, if I had the money, it's 5 cars. Yeah. Okay, there is one car I do just want to go back to. Just talking about Ferraris. This little Ferrari SP8. Okay, it's a Ferrari's one-off division has been cranking out a whole bunch of amazing cars. Okay. This is an SP8. Okay, it's basically a modified F8. Okay. But I love the look of this thing. The two-tone
looks like 2 Ferraris mashed together.
But yeah, look at this.
That's futuristic for Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean, so they've had the SP1, SP2, SP3 Daytona. This is the one-off. They had the KT23. They've had a ton of these one-offs, and every single one of them has been a very interesting car. And generally they're based off production models and so on with new bodyworks. This is built for a particular person. Yeah, so I mean, these one-offs are built it takes 3 or 4 years for these cars to come out, and they're built for a particular person who will go into Ferrari and say, "This is the car I want."
That's cool, hey?
Yeah,
that is so cool. I mean, imagine, now you look at imagine being able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have quite a history.
One of these. But I mean, that's okay. That's pretty cool.
So that's
nice, interesting one off. Okay, so while we were on the history of things, I thought we could talk about. So Ford they've released this thing about the 100 years of Ford.
Yeah.
So we'll go through the pictures they've put out for us, and it's this might be a little all over the place. One of my favorite Fords ever, the Piranha Capri.
Ah, yes.
I mean, that is just that is such a divine car. There's a picture of its engine here. Here we are. Now look how simple this engine bay is compared to modern cars.
Yeah, I mean, carb and everything. I mean,
that's divine. Like, I love it, how clean it is and things like that. Very lacquer car, one of the best looking cars Ford ever made, in my opinion.
I mean, a couple of years ago, the Capri, Ford showed a concept car, which is sort of a modern day version of Capri, which looked really nice. It had the little side vents on it and so on. But unfortunately, never went into production. It was just a concept. But yeah, I mean, it has quite the lines.
So Ford Capri, that's one of my favorite cars.
Yeah.
What's the next one they've put up? Moving on.
Okay.
Ford Cortina
XR6.
Ooh. This actually isn't even the style that I like of the Ford Cortina.
What engine was in the XR6? V6.
So they've given us a document and we can look at it. So I think it was a V6.
Cortina XR6
Interceptor 1981. 3 litre S. So
V6.
3 litre SX V6.
Yeah.
Slightly lower suspension. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Let's talk about get in for the driver life. I think I've actually got that ad.
Oh, really?
Downloaded the ad.
Okay, we'll have a look at it now.
Yeah.
The Cortina XR6. Look,
I love those wheels.
The wheels are cool, but I mean, I love the Cortina, but I didn't actually like this one.
Yeah.
I liked the more family-looking Cortina.
Yeah.
So like the plain, like there was like a nice. Okay, the yellow one was used for the cops.
Yeah.
But I liked it with the black grill and things like that. But I mean, like, iconic looking car. Yeah. Let's just skip through the modern ones because those are rubbish. Because they had something quite fun, which again we've spoken about on this podcast.
XR8.
Yeah. So,
which I've also got the ad for.
This is quite a car. So I mean, again, looking at it, it doesn't seem like much.
But don't forget, this is the same car that was the basis for the Sierra Cosworth.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is, in fact, that reminds me very much of the Cosy Wing.
Yeah. Just a little smaller, eh?
Yeah.
So yeah, XR8. Now this here here's the engine here. So
5 litre V8 from
5 litre V8 from the Boss Mustang at the time.
Yeah.
So amazing. I think if I remember correctly, there was a bit of Ford didn't want to put that engine in any other car, and someone convinced them to put it in this Sierra. But this wasn't sold in the States. I think that's one of the reasons why they thought, we want to keep this thing for the States.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was an iconic car,
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, Ford had a long history of doing South African specials, effectively, And
I mean,
which is unfortunately a tradition that seems to have died away a bit.
Yeah, everything's global now. Hey?
Yeah,
which sucks a bit. But
I mean, you get special editions, but that's generally just slight spec changes here and there and so on.
Yeah. Look, then the modern ones. So I mean, we touched on the Fiesta ST200. Saw one of these the other day. I'm not entirely convinced by this car. One of the Fords that I had that I really liked. It was a Fiesta. Before they came out with it was the old shape. Remember that the Mazda Soho?
Yes. Yeah.
So it was a 1.6R Sport.
Yes.
With the Rocam engine, and it was just small, light. It was the first car I rebuilt. It was the first car I ever did a head gasket on. So I had no idea what I was doing at some point. But like a little car. And I mean, I shouldn't be saying it, but I did get it up to 190 at one stage. And at that point, I was like, this car is freaking scary. I'm going to slow down. Because it was small and light. But it was just so simple and basic and just kind of cool.
This Fiesta SE was quite a classic. I did like these little STs.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the shape of this Fiesta. I was never quite convinced as a.
No, look, as a car, I mean, I drove the 5-door one. It's a nice little hatchback.
Yeah,
it was okay. I didn't see anything wrong with it. Obviously they're only showing the sportier models. They've got the Focus RS. Well, this is they call it the RS.
Yeah, that's the RSN and the ST as well.
Yeah. Which was that 4-wheel drive? That was RS.
RS had the 4-wheel drive, yeah.
But that's not this one.
That's RS. That's RS. The other one that shows the ST.
I remember the car being a 5-door.
There's a 5-door version.
Anyway, but that was lappy to drive. Yeah. Awful engine. That was a 2.3 litre EcoBoost.
Yeah.
People kept having the head gasket problems. But I mean, that car had grip.
Yes.
Grip for days. So when they gave it to me, Ford gave it to us, they refused to give it to anyone over a weekend. The press car. They only gave it to you during the week. And because they knew.
Yeah.
People are going to push that drift mode button. And I didn't once. I did push the car quite a bit, and it had tons of grip. But that's the all-wheel drive that was in it. Very nice. Just uncomfortable as hell in traffic. It was so stiff, and you just felt every vibration, and it just wasn't a nice car to drive that way. But very, very lacquer. I mean, the Focus is an iconic car. Ironically, one of the reasons I bought my Volvo is because it's got the Ford diesel engine.
Yeah, I mean, underneath the skin, your Volvo and the Focus are the same car.
Yeah, so a lot of it's the same, which means that I can get parts quite easily. That's one of the reasons I bought it. But the Focus ST, the 5-litre in there was the Volvo engine, which is a phenomenal inline 5, beautiful engine. I mean, that's one of the reasons I was so great. But yeah, so that's when Ford owned Volvo.
Yeah.
But again, as we go through these pictures of the STs, they're a bit dull.
I mean, this is the thing. I mean, all of these were international cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't, like we said, they weren't South African specials.
Yeah.
And there's something special, the XR8, the Piranha, I mean, and various other things. I mean, when you talk about, it's Ford in South Africa. I mean, you got to also talk about things like the tie-up with Mazda for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, a whole bunch of Fords here were Mazdas. I mean, you had, let's go back, Ford Laser, which is the old 323.
Yeah.
You had the Telstar, which is a 626.
Yeah.
The MX-6 here, was there?
I don't think Ford did anything.
Yeah, no, Ford didn't do anything like that. Yeah, but the long history of that. So I mean, there's an interesting overlap there. I mean, we had all these South African specials.
Yeah,
I believe Australia also had like the Laser as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, lasers for years. I mean, you can have a look at some of the ads, which I download.
Yeah, we'll look at those as well. So the last thing, Ford have obviously given us a ton of photos of the Mustang, which I mean, that's pretty recent to the market in the grand scheme of things. Very nice. I mean, every time I see one, and you see them a lot, I'm like, ooh, this is the Mustang. So I kind of like them.
Yeah, I mean, how many special editions? I think that's a Bullet Mustang.
Yeah. I mean, special, very good looking car. Though.
Yeah, look, I like the new one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good looking car. This particular shape was quite a revelation for what Ford could do. Yeah, so I mean,
yeah, well, this is a divan that shall be on. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, look, it's cool that they've been around. Congratulations, Ford South Africa.
Yeah,
hope you enjoy it. Yeah, and I mean I see they've titled the little press release "Iconic Cars," and I mean it is. Some of them were phenomenal. I think we're missing from there Escort XR3. Actually, the Ford Escorts in general. Those are great. Even the Escort Cosworth, I remember seeing one of those and just.
Oh yeah, I mean like old Escorts, the original Escort with the rear-wheel drive and so on. I had a friend of mine who had one of those, which was a blast.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely great car. Were there any others missing? So the Cortina, yes, the one particular. My uncle had one at Ford Granada.
At the Ford Granada, yes,
it's like a bigger Cortina.
Yes, yeah,
beautiful looking car as well.
Yeah, so I mean. Over the years, I mean, you'll see some of the ads, I mean, for various names that have gone by the wayside. I think the Ford Zephyr and...
there was an ad here for the Cortina Buckies.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So this is an older Cortina, and there's like a little bit of this is obviously like a brochure someone scanned.
1976 All Black tour. Oh,
wow. That's relevant.
Yeah.
Because we're playing them this weekend in the final. That's quite cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an interesting. Oh, it's shaped like a rugby ball too. Okay, didn't pick up on that.
Just quick have a look at some of the ads. I think they're going to be a little out of sequence, but
let's just go. Oh, there. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll just go from.
Yeah, just have a look at some of them. I mean, you can see how they change it. So I mean,
wow.
Okay. This is what. Okay. So lucky enough, they actually got the date on the bottom. You can see. This is from Car Magazine. 1971. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, so there's a bunch of cars that have come and gone by the wayside and so on.
So this is a Cortina, hey? No, they're calling it the Magnificent 6.
420M. Okay.
420M. So what was like?
Yeah, so this is one of the things. I mean, I don't recognize the name.
Yeah.
Look, I mean. So
interesting.
Okay. So here's the ad for the XR6, not the XR8.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the one I remember more. Yeah. I remember that front more.
Yes. This is Sierra. Well, obviously not the XR6, but the shape Sierra that my family had, and then when the station wagon. But yeah.
Wow. Tons of space, eh? Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh god, that's such an irritating photo because it's skew. Is it me or is it skew?
It does look skew, doesn't it?
It's a little leaning to the right.
Anyway,
but iconic car. The car I learned to drive in.
Yeah.
Well, didn't learn to drive.
But I mean, I still see a couple of them driving around now. I mean, they must be.
They clapped out there.
Yeah.
But iconic South African car. Hey.
Yeah.
Absolute.
Anyway, there's a Capri for you.
The car you always promised yourself. That's about right.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could tell you what it is about that car. I don't know.
Look, I mean, fastback design is always looks good. I mean,
that and the long front.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Yeah. Okay.
The new world beater.
Okay, so here's a bunch of other Cortinas.
Oh, yeah, the Cortina. Well, they're calling it the wagon. 1982.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Some older ones.
This is 1950s.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Affordable Escort.
That's a stunning one, eh? Mileage maker Ford's. Oh, so.
Yeah, see, now this is 58. Ford Custom 300 with a 145 horsepower engine.
That's like nothing by today's standards.
Yeah, I know.
Still.
Look at the size of it and how wide it is.
Yeah, that's huge. I kind of like this styling. I kind of like the wide vibe. I think there's something cool about it.
Yeah.
But I suppose it's just because I like old cars.
Okay, Ford Fairmont.
Very nice. I saw one the other day. Beautiful cars. But
I love this ad. I mean, Fairmont is action. I mean, hold on. What's it say? Fully reclining front bucket seats.
Or a bench seat option at no extra cost. Ooh.
Synchromesh 3-speed manual shift.
3-speed.
3.6 litre, 135 horsepower.
Sure.
God, the thing must have been so understressed.
Yeah, that's very uneconomical.
Yeah. Choice of 11 beautiful exterior colours with black or parchment vinyl roof as an optional extra.
Yeah, I remember seeing these with vinyl roofs. That's cool, though. What a history.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh,
Old Escort.
I've never driven one of these, but I've seen plenty of them.
Yeah. Hold on, a couple more. XR6 again.
Yeah, I remember these as well.
Yeah.
That front
I think I'm going to add before
this is when it started to become the Sapphire, because the
yes,
Sapphire.
I think I've got a Sapphire ad as well coming up. Okay.
We didn't have many of these. This is very
Taunus. Yeah,
this is Ford of Germany.
Yeah. So a couple of interesting models as I was looking through models I've never even heard of.
Oh wow!
Okay, I remember this ad. Okay, from when I was, if I remember correctly, I think there was a TV version of it with him popping the shit like that. I had a look, but I couldn't find it.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah,
that's an ambitious ad. 0 to 100 in one deep breath.
21,000 rand.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, if you found one of those in good condition, it's easily over 100, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Or now, at least. Oh, the Korea Bucky. I almost forgot about these.
Yeah.
But they're also the Mazda BT50s.
Yeah.
They're very similar. I wonder which one is based on which. But in fact, they have this in the States. I've seen this Bucky, but they call it something else.
Yeah.
I think they might call it like the F-150 or something.
Well, the F-150 is a big size. I'm not sure what this is.
Or one of the... It might be an F1 anyway. But I've seen something similar in the States.
Here's a Sapphire for you.
Wow. Yeah, massive car by standards.
Yeah.
There we are.
And that's Granada, yeah.
Iconic, eh? Kind of like a big brother to the Cortina.
Yeah.
Slightly bigger, maybe a little more luxury. Very, very nice.
And some real Zephyr, which is old names.
And
Zephyr console Zodiac. Yeah,
I mean that console in the Zodiac are quite tiny. Ooh, okay. So he has the styling of Ford, I like that red and black, and that is very, very nice.
1982 for you.
That is the last one. Ford XR6. That is fucking that is cool, hey. Yeah, it's lekker. I like that Ford are still doing it. I mean, they're still making great cars.
Yeah, look, I mean, even as we transfer across to electric, I think that's Ford has such a history across South Africa, around the world, obviously. I mean, let's face it. I mean, they invented a lot of them. Yeah,
they perfected so they started with the mass manufacturing.
Yeah,
so they've done a lot. And it's
I mean, so it's a very interesting history. So well worth
that's quite
thinking about.
That's very cool.
Like we said, one thing I want to talk about is the Tokyo Motor Show. Now, as generally in a motor show, or mobility show, there are a bunch of launches, but there are 4 I actually want to talk about. Okay. First off is return of a particular name.
Okay. Honda
Prelude. Okay. Now, according to Honda, this is just a concept. But look at it. That's 99% production ready.
That's very nice.
Production ready mirrors, wheels, everything. There's almost no concepts here. Okay. So this is a return of a very iconic name, the Honda Prelude. The Honda Prelude is a very interesting car to me. Now, a couple of early Preludes.
What is the original one?
Okay.
Yeah.
This was one of the first cars I really liked. Okay. This was the Prelude from mid-90s.
Yes.
Okay. Now, one of my favorite car writers, a guy named Sid Wright. Okay. This was his favorite cars for a bunch of different reasons. And I mean, it's one of the cars I've always would love to drive because it was a very interesting car at the time. It pioneered a lot of Honda's tech and so on and so forth. Okay. There was a model that came after this, but then after that, that was it. Okay. But now Honda's decided to bring it back. Because now this is interesting. All the ones I actually want to have a look at here today.
Yeah.
Okay. Are coupes. Okay. Now it's interesting because not only in this one, there's 2 of the other cars are essentially previews for new models that have essentially been out of production for a while.
Okay. So a lot of returns to market.
Yes. Okay. So the Prelude is the one that is most production ready, as you can see.
Yeah.
I mean,
engine,
it's electric.
Oh, so
okay.
Rear mid, because this looks like a mid.
Yeah. No details really about drivetrain, except the fact that it's electric.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the next one I want to talk about is the Mazda.
Okay.
Now this is interesting.
The red one.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the next picture across because I don't want to talk about that. Okay.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now this is the iconic SP. Okay. Now this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Now for years there's been talk about return of rotary.
Okay.
As in the old RX-7.
Yeah.
This has a rotary engine.
Like a Wankel.
Yeah, Wankel rotary engine.
Internal combustion.
Yes.
Okay.
But the engine doesn't drive the wheels.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's a hybrid. Okay, the engine powers a battery, which then powers the wheels. Okay, so it's a small capacity rotary engine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that works as like a generator kind of.
Yes. Yeah, but the interesting thing about this is Mazda are talking about not just as the engine for this car, but as a sort of almost like a standalone to power systems and so on. But now the car itself, it's a little smaller than the old RX-7, a little bit bigger than the MX-5. Okay, so small. Okay.
Yeah.
The rumor is this is going into production.
Oh, wow.
Slight variation probably between concept and production. But, I mean, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
I think of the cars I'm going to show you now, this is the best looking of them. Also, one of the other little details about it, go back to the previous picture. Okay. Pop-up headlamps.
Oh, yes, look at that. That's...
whether they remain for production is
because those died because of.
Okay, the next little one is also another return. Okay, the Toyota FTSE. Okay, a couple of years ago, Toyota showed off a bunch of different cars, but they were all concept cars, but they all didn't have much detail. They were sort of sketches turned into reality. Okay, this year is the development of one of them, the small sports car. Okay, now if you remember correctly, or if you I don't know if you remember the old Toyota MR2.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is essentially a modern day interpretation of an MR2.
I'm assuming this is electric as well.
Also electric. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so a small rear-wheel drive. Yeah, just I think it just looks really nice. I think. So yeah, this probably going into production.
Bit of a Lexus kind of front.
Hints. Yeah. Next, I had a couple of show cars. I mean, the Infiniti had their first electric car on show there. There are a bunch of other interesting ones, but these were the ones that really spoke to me. So this is going in production in a couple of years, hopefully.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. It'd be nice if it comes out looking like that, but I doubt it will.
Yeah, I mean, things like the headlights will probably change.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised.
Interesting wheels there. Look at this design. So from far, it looks like 5 spokes. But when you look at it closer, you see what looks almost like shadows, but there's little details in there.
Yeah. But you'd be surprised how much can be transferred across. Okay. The last one is the Nissan Hyperforce.
Hyperforce.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous name.
It's an awful name.
But have a look at the rear three-quarters pictures.
It's the... Can you read that on the side?
Yeah.
S before force.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm just like a child. It says ass on it.
Okay. Scroll to the picture we showed from there. What car does that look like?
Skyline GTR.
Oh, well, the GTR, yeah. So this probably is a preview for the next generation GTR.
That is awful. It looks like a Cybertruck version of the GTR. Okay,
but so 1,300 horsepower. Okay. Look, I mean, this is a very early concept of it. I mean, so not too much to take from, but basically sort of confirmation that they're looking at continuing in the GTR.
Are they looking at positioning for the Batman movie? Because that is a Batman ass looking car. Just Yeah, that is a very ugly car. I love the round taillights.
Yeah, it's quite classic. Yeah, so look, I mean, of the cars here, this probably is the furthest from production.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. That thing is ugly. I actually, you know what? I know normally concept cars are a bit wacky, but this one is just wow. That is. Whew. Okay. I'm offended, David. You have offended my eyes. That's awful.
No, okay. If you want to offend your eyes, there's one crossover that I was not expecting.
Okay.
Bottom one.
The Pixar Cars Meta shoes. What?
Crocs.
Yeah.
And Pixar.
Is this an official product?
It's an official product.
Yes.
$50.
I mean, the kind of person who would wear them would be Meta.
Yeah.
That is. Okay, that's a no. Something fun I looked at. Sorry, I want to move on because I think this car is quite interesting. Yeah. We've mentioned this before. So a company called BYD, Chinese company, came in with a car called the Atto 3. New electric car.
Yeah.
Hell of a range, 700,000 rand in South Africa. Something weird's going on with their marketing team. So they were on the news aggregator site and then suddenly it disappeared. And then I had to go from their main website and it's a bit weird. So I don't know what's happening. This is my problem with, I think, new entrants to the market.
Yeah.
They don't come in with stability. And you remember when Hyundai came into South Africa, it was all cool. They had the Elantra. It was cheap, like 20,000 rand at the time. Everybody bought one and then Hyundai just folded and left.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a problem. But now they're being brought in, and Hyundai themselves actually aren't in South Africa. They're being brought in by AAH. So they're kind of, there's a company that imports them. So, but because they had such a good foothold because of their quality back then, that's why they're stuck around. But yeah, these guys are new entrants to the market. There's a dealer around the corner from us now. Nice looking car, nice specs. A little bit. I'm wondering what's happening there with their marketing. I hope it's just a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Anyway, so excuse me. What made me look at this? So the Atto 3 is a nice looking car, and then they had a couple of cars launched at the motor show. And we're going to go through the pictures because this is what I find quite interesting. So they've obviously got a platform car, right?
Yes.
And the platform is very simple. It's really just like a base, like a flat base, 2 wheels, and then a motor and battery in the front.
Yes, yeah.
So you can do whatever the hell you want with these bodies, which I find quite interesting. So they've now designed a like a modular body that can be a sports car, SUV, off-road kind of thing. So they can kind of do anything they want. And they have done anything they want. And some of them are cool and some of them are not. So this here kind of reminds me of the Porsche Panamera cross to the Model S kind of vibe. You know, a nice big sedan. Not bad. Awful color, but I mean, you know, that is what it is. I'm sure they come in better colors. Okay looking car. They call that the Chaser. This one's called the Seagull. So we go from all right to what the hell? I mean, that's not a nice looking car.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little city car. I mean,
yeah. Look, I'm sure, like, again, as a platform, I'm sure it must be quite nice. So I think it'll be quite cool. But anyway, so that's one of the things they've launched recently. Just pictures of their launch. So this one is called the Song. Nice big. Reminds me a little bit of the Jag.
A little bit,
The F Pace.
Yeah.
Nice and big. That's like Otto again. Then like this kind of thing.
Basically sort of Land Cruiser style,
I mean, massive, super full of chrome luxury SUV. This is the one that interested me.
Their own suit and pulling their own sports car. Yeah.
What does that remind you of?
I was seeing shades of Rimac in there, shades of... What am I seeing there? It's going to bug me.
Yeah, those lights remind me heavily of the McLaren.
A little, yeah.
Swoop kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But like, so they seem to take inspiration from cars.
Yes.
And nothing else, which I find quite interesting. So, but again, so they've come with the modular thing, which means that they can do different stuff with it. What they do with it is irrelevant. So I think one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this, which I find quite interesting, so is the future of cars someone like this saying, here's a base, you guys go and make a body for it, you know?
A bit like the old days of coach building.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea. I mean, you'd be surprised. Gordon Murray, he was working on something sort of along those lines. He called it stream.
Yeah.
A stream concept. Basically, where it's a very simple body, a very simple chassis, and you can sort of do anything with it, and you can play around with it, to make it much easier to adapt to different models and so on. I mean, and with electric cars, obviously it's actually quite easy.
Flexible,
because I mean, you don't have to worry running with all the gearing and everything like that. I mean, it's and remember that car I spoke about a while back with the motors in the wheels.
Yes.
When you get something like that, I mean, it makes it even easier.
Yeah.
I mean, so this I think you might actually start seeing this as a small manufacturer saying, here's this, buy it.
But now, here's an interesting concept. So remember, that's what Shelby tried. That's what Carroll Shelby did with the Cobra. We might see stuff like that. We might see someone who goes, hey, I've got an idea, I just need a platform and an engine. Approaching guys like us, getting a platform and an engine, and making the next iconic car out of nothing.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's a long history of it, but I mean, I think the fact that electric design makes it so much easier is going to be interesting thing to follow. I mean, you look at something like the Rimac Nevera. There's already another car built on it, the Pininfarina Battista. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of different cars. I mean, platform sharing is new, but I think it's just it's going to be so much easier.
I think it's fascinating, and I think it's probably for me. I think it's great to see that people are being able to come up with concepts like that, and I'd love to see companies like this then lend that platform to others. So I think it's opening some doors.
One of the interesting things is I remember a couple of years ago there was a concept car, I think from GM. Okay. It was an electric car. Basically, the body was the chassis was a skateboard. Okay. I call it a skateboard. It was flat with the batteries inside that parts and then the wheels and so on. But basically, anything could be bolted on top of it. It had like 8 mounting points, sort of thing. So you could literally go over the weekend, take it to the dealer, swap out the body for something else.
That's great.
Yeah. Look, I mean, so that's a possibility as well.
I love that.
That's a little more.
I love it. I think it's such a great thing. I mean, imagine getting to the point where you could do with 3D printing coming along, you could almost pretty much say, okay, look, I want this. I've done this drawing, can I get someone to make this car? Let me get the platform. All we need is obviously the right mounting points and the right safety points, and then you've got it. But I think simplicity is going to be the friend, Yeah,
I mean, because obviously, you got to think about ease of manufacturing, ease of repair, ease of. I think manufacturing is going to start changing. You look at something like Tesla. Okay, when you mentioned the sort of lawsuit they got against them for various reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, but now Tesla is an interesting example. Now I am not a fan of Tesla. Okay, they've done remarkable things in getting people more interested in electric cars, but unfortunately, their current management is very problematic.
Oh yeah, well that's like even to the point of what I've seen about their build quality. Is awful.
Okay,
but again, build quality being awful is not a new thing to car world. I mean, we know about that.
I mean, the problem is, let's just shall I say, upper management actually doesn't understand how to build cars.
Yeah, well, I think they tried. Yeah, so what they tried to do was not be a car company.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't go. There's no dealerships. You have to buy it online. Yeah. So, which I get it, but once the car world, and they're going to see it. I mean, we've got BMW electric, we've got Mercedes electric, you're getting Ford electrics. They're going to kill just by their marketing.
Well, this is like Tesla. This was the point I'm going to bring up. The Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Okay. It is 2 years behind schedule.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's so bad that both Ford and GM have electric trucks out now ahead.
Oh, you see.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is it. So, I mean, the big guys, once they get their R&D in order and then the marketing in order, it's going to change the lot. So
yeah. I mean, You look at other brands that are talk about the Cybertruck at the same time. One which I particularly like, the Rivian. Okay, not available in this country, obviously, but they have two models: R1T, which is a backy version, and the R1S, which is SUV sort of thing, which is amazing. I've seen reviews of them. They look so good, and they're out already. And the Cybertruck's still not here. And let's face it, the Cybertruck looks.
It's awful looking car. But then I think, so from our perspective, we look at automotive world and everyone's going massive cars, right? Because everyone wants a big car. And I mean, I've got a biggish car. Because I want to travel far. So I want my sister's up in Joburg, I want to go drive and see her, right? Yeah. That's perfect. But for a town runaround, I'd like something smaller, So, and I'd like something smaller and more simple. So where that comes along is where Fiat are coming out of that, that 600L. Those, in my opinion, are going to probably be big winners in electric cars. And if they can make it cheap in South Africa. I mean, if you can bring out a car that's 150,000 Rand, even if it's got a range of 100 Ks. People are
there's something I will talk about in the next podcast next week. I just need to follow up and do some research about a local car company.
Nice. Oh, really? Cool.
But we'll see. There's some issues.
We'll cover that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good place to end.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Okay. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks for watching. By the time this gets put out, we'll have a website up.
Yes. Okay. So we'll link it on
drivingdads.online. But I'll put a link in the video.
Okay. And I'll be writing. You'll be writing?
When I find time. You're probably going to be the main writer for now.
That's fine.
But that's okay. We'll add what we can.
So hopefully you can...
I'm actually really looking forward to reading what you're going to write. I think you have such great opinions on things. So I'm really looking forward to it. And you have such a nice knowledge of history and stuff. And I'm looking forward to that. I think it'll be cool.
Okay. So thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Thanks for watching.
Thanks everyone. And like, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.
Follow us on the TikTok and Instagram. We haven't got Facebook. I don't know if should we go Facebook? I don't know. We'll see if people want it.
Okay. Cheers from me. Cheers from him.
Lekker. Enjoy.
Okay. Cheers. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, that was so close, eh? That was so close to me having a mouthful of coffee.
Okay.
I'm going to just hold on.
Okay.